CISO as well, and I've spent over a decade in cybersecurity dealing with some of major breaches and also vulnerability management. Today, I want to talk about something crucial for every CISO: crisis communication strategies. When a cyber incident hits, our first instinct is to fix the technical problem. But how we communicate during the crisis can be just as important as the fix itself. Bad communication can turn a bad situation into a disaster, impacting trust, reputation, and even the company's bottom line. The goal today is to give a clear, actionable strategies to communicate effectively when it matters most. So, what exactly is crisis communication, especially in the world of cybersecurity? It's about delivering clear, accurate, and timely information to everyone who needs it during a cyber emergency. Think of it as the company voice during a storm. The main goals are simple. 1. Maintain trust. Be honest and transparent. 2. Enable decisions. Give leaders the facts they need. 3. Support recovery. Helps everyone understand what's happening and what to do. So let's break down the keys of effective crisis communications. First, preparations is paramount. You can wait for crisis to start planning. Build a plan. Create a simple communication playbooks for different types of incidents. What do you say for data breach versus a system outage? Draft templates. Have a pre-written draft for initial statements, customer alerts, and internal messages. Fill the blanks when an incident occurs. Speak plainly. Avoid technical jargon. Your audience, from the CEOs to your customers, needs to understand you. Create a simple glossaries of terms if needed. Fourth, train your spokespeople. The CISO or designated deputy should be trained to speak to media, customers, and employees. Practice makes improvements. Identify backup channels. What if your email is down? How will you communicate? Think about a dedicated status page, text messages, social medias, or even a blog. Second, during the crisis, this is when your plan is put to the test. You need to act fast and be factual. The first message should be go out quickly. State what you know, what you are investigating, and what you don't yet know. Do not guess. CISO should lead with impact and action, telling people how they are affected and what they should do immediately. For example, we are experiencing an outage affecting something, for example, perhaps a ransomware attack. Then please use alternative as a workaround, how to ensure that the business continuity to work, need to be working without being affected. You need to have a consistent updates. Set a schedule for updates every hour, every 2 hours, and stick to it. Even if there's no new informations, you need to continue to communicate. This is because silence creates anxiety. CISO also need tailor their message. Different audience need different level of detail. For example, executive, they need to know the business impacts, recovery timeline, and key decisions. Employees need to know what's happening, how it affects them, and what they can tell their customers. And the customers need to know how they are affected, what step to take, and where to get help. Regulators, they need specific facts, timelines, and compliance detail. CISO will be a single source of truth. Therefore, use one central place for all official updates, communication channels. You need to have a dedicated status page. This prevents confusions and conflicting of informations. Third, post-crisis review and improvement. The work isn't over when the incident is contained. After action report, you need to create a clear report detailing what's happening, why, its impact, and what was done to fix it. Focus on the facts, not the blames and pointing fingers. On the lesson learned, use the incidents to improve the communication plan, update templates, refine process, and conduct more training. CISO also need to follow through if there are new security measures that require to be implemented. Therefore, they need to enforce it. They also need to communicate with stakeholders on the progress. This rebuild trust. Now, let's take a look on real-world example where it's related to CrowdStrike or Microsoft outage, which is happening in 2024. A faulty updates to a security sensor cause widespread system crashes, impacting major organizations globally, from airlines, hospitals, banks. From a communications perspective, this incident highlights several key lessons. Prioritize actionable guidance early on. The most critical information wasn't the deep technical root cause, but clear instruction on how to roll back the updates or safely restart the systems. Operator first messaging. They start with what to do right now for the people on the front lines, and they communicate hierarchically from top to bottom to ensure that the communications is seamless, accurate, and trustworthy. Not only that, we also take a look on Unified Information Hub. A central, continuously updated status page was essential to cut through the noise and provide consistent information. Cross-company coordinations. This involves multiple vendors that helps to solve the problems. So they coordinate the messages, helping the customers avoid conflicting advice. Now, let's talk about common pitfalls that we need to avoid. So during communication, do not stay silent. Even a small update is better than none, because silence creates anxieties. We also need to avoid using much jargon terms. This can cause confusions among the audience on the technical terms that they don't understand, and also the way that people interpreting the jargon words. Conflicting messages. Ensure all the teams, security, IT, PR, legal, are saying the same thing. If there is non-consistent messages, this will cause bad affecting to the whole crisis, communication crisis. Wait for perfections. We should not delay the critical information that waiting for every single details. You need to share what you know and update as you learn more. CISO also should not blaming others, but they should focus on the problems and the solutions. And also lastly, they should not ignoring the internal communications. Your employees are your first line of defense and your biggest advocates. CISO should keep them informed and to ensure that the messages reach the customers and the panic can be controlled. In a conclusion, crisis communication is not just a PR function, it's a critical security control. Therefore, it should be treated with the same rigor how CISO apply to the technical defenses, prepare the plans, practice the response, and when crisis strikes, be fast, factual, and empathic. The ability to communicate clearly and effectively will define the organization's resilience and protect its most valuable asset, trust. Thank you.